Hey everybody, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc. So I've been trying to record this match for you guys for weeks now. My video got corrupt, well my card got corrupted 3 times before we finally got to this point. Had probably, I don't know, 20 games recorded in total and had some real bangers. Unfortunately, the last iteration of recordings, I was able to get one of each deck popping off pretty decently, so I at least want to finally at least show these decks off. I had to basically take all last week off, didn't want to, but here we are. I think these decks coming into BT12 are really cool. Ulforce already probably one of the most intriguing like pure blue decks that we've seen in quite some time. I don't know, the RNG on it is there, but also it's just a really just kind of interesting, a whole lot of going on. Very like takes a very skilled player, I think, to really take it to its peak performance. So really cool there that we got the new Ulforce X then just to kind of capstone it and put that like last little bit of polished on the deck. And now we got a new way to play Imperial as well, so really excited for that. Big fan of Imperial. I got my my first ever the Nats invite I first ever got was with Imperial after it first came out, the starter deck. And this is a real new way to play it. At the same time though, you still can run a lot of the old pieces in the deck. So far I keep going back and forth on which of the new stuff I like versus, well, I could just continue running the old like top end, but with the new low end support. It's just gonna take a lot more fine testing, I think, to really narrow in on which one I prefer more. Both are extremely good though, so I don't mind either one. Like, they both feel pretty equal to me. I think it's more of a personal preference of which one I prefer more. But let's go ahead and jump into this match. Also, don't forget this month's featured memory marker is Digimon. This is handmade out of clay by my wife, Digimon, hand painted by her as well. You can find this on her Etsy page, link in the description below. Just a really awesome, cute memory marker. I've been begging her for like a year to make this guy just because Digimon is such a hugely popular baby for so many purple strategies. Just a really great piece, and she made it where it's even floating because he is a flying one on like a lava bed base there. It's all blackened and stuff like that. Very cool. Like I said, this is our featured memory marker for the month for our Patreon rewards, but you can find it on her Etsy page, as well as all of her previous memory markers that we featured on the channel in the past. You can find there as well, and some really cool stuff in addition to memory markers. So make sure you go check out her Etsy page. Alright, so we got Imperial going first here, going into the Digimon, gives you that draw with the jamming, and then we see the new Vmon, which has a search ability, as well as has the inheritable of when you pass turn, you can DNA, which is super good, and then goes into the Davis to pass turn. That Davis is the one that you suspend it, and you can Digivolve mid-attack, very strong. Our opponent there going into the unsuspend Vmon, gain a memory, and then when you play a Tamer, Veedramon, gain a memory, and then just playing out a searcher there, picking up the old Rena, not the new one, which would probably be its preferred target. Kicking it back over to Imperial though, having to just play out the search, and then do the big debate of which to go into, the Dino Bee or the Imperialdramon. Both are very good, it just depends on which you would prefer more. That'll pass turn back to our opponent. They're just going to swing with that Vmon there. They won't be able to make any big plays, so might as well get a good check before you risk losing the Vmon, getting it bottom decked by a Imperialdramon or the Dino Beemon swinging over it with piercing. So you don't really want to just leave that body there, so no harm in getting a little cheeky security check. Debating which of the plays to go into here for that Vmon. Do we promote up or do we keep in raising area? And that'll determine if our memory on the Davis there. So gonna keep there, gain the one off of Davis for the Vmon because we have a free type in play. We'd also gain a second if we had a kin, which we do not have the kin in this particular build. Here we're going into the Stingmon here just to get a draw, just to try to find some pieces of whatever the puzzle we're missing here is. Probably a blue, because we definitely want to Evo the blue XV in the raising area if we had it. And then just playing a Labra to pass turn. Here they go into the Arrow Veedramon. Ability here to dig for a Tamer. Does whiff on that though, so not the best. At 2 memory though, so still going to be able to make some pretty good plays here. So 4 Evo costs into the Ulforce, plays out the good Rena, unsuspends, gains 1 for the Vmon, gains 1 for the Veedramon, and 1 for the Rena, and then gets the bounce there. So bounce that Stingmon back to hand. And then starts to cycle, so it attacks, plays out another Rena, unsuspends it. And this is where we see that the loop effect is so brutal. So swings, plays out another Rena. Anytime they just get all the Renas like immediately, you know you're pretty much going to be having a difficult time here. So there we see yet another Rena. So this time just goes into Davis though, does not have another one. Thank goodness here. Does pick up the Ulforce X though. So unsuspends. Now could swing right here and check, which is what I think I would have done. But so he unsuspends the Rena instead of going for himself here. Now he does have evade, so he'll get the battle protection on this, which we'll remember in just a moment. But we do forget right here. He does get the bounce effects just like the Ulforce does, and there he puts it back out. So yeah, he went for the Rena unsuspend instead of swinging with the Ulforce and then unsuspending himself with the Ulforce X, and then Ulforce X could have gone for game right there. But I think he would have been tapped out potentially. And oh no, he has another tamer. Oh, I think he was out though. He was out of Renas to suspend to unsuspend himself. So yeah, he actually would have died there. So it actually worked out that he actually played it like he did. I just think normally I would have just swung with the Ulforce and then went for a game with Ulforce X. But it actually worked out in his favor pretty well. So it is suspended there, though. Doesn't take much. Liddy can just go hybrid for game next turn. So we got to try to make something happen, draw into something. He doesn't have a blocker here. We don't have the good XVmon that's going to get us that free cheeky swing here in the draw from the Demi Vmon, which is a little unfortunate. And then playing the Dino B here. Or, sorry, playing the Stingmon here for 4, then DNAing into the Dino Bmon. We'll gain 2 memory back because both the XVmon and the Stingmon, the new ones, when they DNA, they get that the plus memory. But not able to draw into anything. Could blitz at this point with the Dino B into the Ulforce and then potentially Evo into a Dragon mode if we had drawn into the Dragon mode. But that did not happen. So we're taking it away first this time. We're going to see this very similar play. We got the XVmon in raising area. When you pass turn, Vmon will DNA for us, and then the draw Demi Vmon. Our opponent here, though, they're having an okay start themselves there, getting up into the Veedramon and then searching out with the Vmon there. So not a bad start play. For us though, we're at 3 memory. Like that's a pretty nice position to be in if you have the pieces, because you could just play out either Stingmon and then DNA into whichever, and then you'll gain enough memory back. But instead, just going for the Searcher Vmon here and debating what to pick up, picking up the Dragon mode off that search, and probably still trying to figure out what piece we need. I think we have 2 Stingmons at this point, and so I'm actually thinking of Evoing here because I could, even if something happened to it, I could still just get it right back or get another one out. But Evoing for 2 here, so we don't want to put them to 3 because we don't want them to go into the Arrow Veedramon. So here they're going to swing with the Vmon like they did in the first game there, just because you don't want to leave it on field for no reason. Hits into a Davis, though, which is fabulous for us. So now we've got both level 4s, blue and a green on field, so we can actually do something pretty good. We don't have the jamming X Vmon, so we don't get any free cheeky hits into security here, but we can still at least use it to clear that Vmon off the field so it doesn't get any more free checks in. So go ahead and swing there. But yeah, putting our opponent to 2 and makes it so that way they're less likely to just absolutely pop off and do crazy plays. So that's why we went for the Evo of the Stingmon rather than hard playing it for 3. So now we're going into the Imperialdramon here. So swing, unsuspend. We're going to the memory gain here was because of the XV. Not because of Labramon or anything like that, but when he DNAs, he gets that free memory back. Hit into a Davis, though, so Davis is going to pick up that Lobomon, which is really scary. because you can see some crazy plays out of nowhere with that. And we do get lots of draws there, the Demi, Vmon, the Stingmon. So now the debate is, you know, what play do you go into here? Do you go into the old dragon mode and it passes turn, or do you so you go into use the Davis here that when attacking, now we can evo into the new dragon mode for only 3 cost, mind you. He will unsuspend himself here, draw for the Stingmon, everything else is once per turn. And then at the end of the attack, we can go into a fighter mode. If we go into the fighter mode first, that'd be great. Fortunately, that's not how the card was written. Not anything too crazy there, just a Vmon. Now, end of attack, we can go into the fighter mode for free. When you evo like this, it does make it free. It reduces the evo cost by 2. Normally, he has a 2 evo cost on top of another dragon mode. So now we're debating, do we save the blocker or do we just swing here for 2 more checks? We do go for the swing of 2 checks here. Nothing of interest there. And now, unfortunately, he doesn't have the memory fixer, so we can't choke him. Ice Wall in this situation would be incredibly powerful because we know they're going to probably pop off next turn. So an Ice Wall in this situation would be great. Unfortunately, we do not have it. But going for a second body on field, because Ulforce can only bounce one time. So if you can put 2 bodies out there, they can only stop one thing. So just debating what to pick up. Going for a second Searcher Vmon, which basically tells we've already got pieces in hand and we just kind of need more rookies. Seeing the UlforceVeedramon here going to swing with jamming. Now he's going to use the Gabumon to dig for Tamers here. Unfortunately, hits into a Megadeth, which is just the absolute worst thing you could hope for. Which is really just kind of seal the deal. He doesn't really have much time to get back up. Now, the bad thing about the new Imperial stuff is it has no protection. It has like no deletion protection, no option protection, no battle protection. It's just sitting out there in the wind. So it can be really, really rough. Going to play the Vmon. It's going to get some nice good hits off of that. We see the good Arena and the Veedramon as well. And then just going to go into it to pass turn there. We got 2 attacks on board. Davis is going to give us an extra memory there, so even a Hammer Spark insecurity won't save him. So swing in here, and look at that. Was in fact a Hammer Spark, and then swing for game with that Vmon. Now, like I said in the beginning, we did have some really cool recordings. I'm really bummed we lost them. One of them, I think we both had to evo up into a tower twice. We had to go through 2 full evos in one game twice each. One of the really nice plays that you can do with the new Imperial stuff is when you go into that dragon mode, he suspends. Or when you go into Dinobemon suspends, and then you go into Dragon Mode suspends something else, and then when you go into the Fighter Mode at the end of all that combo, then you get to bounce everything that's suspended on your opponent's side of the field. So it was really cool because we were able to dodge the evade mechanic so much. You know, suspending out all these targets, bouncing them to hand was really great. You know, dodging all those blockers. I mean, the Ulforces with blocker, you know, that's always a big issue as well. So it was really cool just to be able to dodge all those mechanics there. But also, same with Ulforce. Ulforce can just bounce whatever it wants, and the new Imperial has no battle protection, which is really, really unfortunate. Now, I do not have his deck profile, but basically it's pretty much like most Ulforces we've seen, except for it's got the Ulforce X teched into the existing builds. Aside from that, that's pretty much the same stuff you're used to seeing. Now it's a little bit tighter because now you've got a new Mega to work into the deck here. Just a couple copies, because basically it's your once you're at the end of your combo sequence and you've played out all your Tamers and you're trying to get game, it's a good one to go into because you can go into it, he can unsuspend himself, swing again, and then you can go Blitz Omnimon for game after that. So it's a way to get you basically 2 more cheeky checks to try to go for a game. Now, I can show you my build that I went with. For this, there will be changes though, so just kind of keep that in mind. Some stuff I found that I really liked, some stuff that I found out I didn't really like. The new Imperialdramon, I'm not a big fan of. I'm not. The new Dinobemon absolutely rocks. Super good. The old Imperialdramon, still fantastic. Attack twice, bottom deck something. stupid strong, okay? Super stupid strong. Dinobemon, fantastic for the new strategy though, just because you're going to DNA into him, suspend something. Essentially, he's going to then blitz, and then you can use the new Davis then to suspend himself to Evo into a dragon mode, suspend something else, and then you can go into the fighter mode and then bounce everything that's suspended. So, you know, all those suspension effects that you're getting, and then you're going to bounce all the suspended stuff. That's really strong. Another just quick thing that I'd probably change is the Stingmon ratios. I'd probably swap these around, honestly. The old one is like, yes, 3, I can play this for 3, or I can do the old one, and then whenever I DNA with it, I gain that memory back, so I don't actually lose out on anything. Both of them basically end up being 3, but the new one has piercing instead of the draw. So one of the big plays, now that only works if you can keep it on your turn. So you either need the new Vmon, or you need enough memory to do it. The new Vmon basically, because at the end of your turn you can DNA, basically like the old Gatomon and Salamon that Maste has had. Now Imperial finally gets it as well, about time. But it is what it is. So basically the big plays that you can do that are really cool with this deck are, you can go Dinobemon with the Stingmon. You're going to suspend something, blitz over it, and go into your dragon mode. You will clear it. You'll clear the body, activate Dinobemon's ability. When a Digimon's deleted by battle, you can trash the security on your opponent. Then you're going to get your Stingmon piercing, so that's going to be another check right there. Then you're going to be able to go into the fighter mode, and that's going to give you 2 more checks right there. So pretty strong. I feel like I missed one check in there somewhere. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know where I missed it, but then you can also go like Blitz Omnimon in there as well. I did it earlier, and there was a way to get 5. Oh, if you have the new or the old XVmon, you swing with the old XVmon first, get that cheeky little jamming check in. That's going to be your first one. And then when you attack over with your Dinobemon inheritable, that's going to trash 1. You're going to get your piercing off with your dragon mode. That's going to be your 3rd check. Go into the fighter mode for free. He's going to, because he's going to unsuspend because of the dragon mode. And then you're going to swing for 2 more checks off of the fighter mode that has security attack +1. And then you just got to go Blitz Omnimon for game, and that's your full OTK there. And you can literally do that on your 2nd turn. You just go whichever rookie into XVmon, and then you're off to the races on the 2nd turn. You do need the Davis though. You need the new Davis in there, so it's not like a super easy thing to get to happen. But so far, what I've seen is if you're going 2nd, if you can go XVmon and then play out the Davis, and then you're going to have a little bit of extra memory there on your next turn, and then you can actually start making it work. So it kind of relies on your opponent not choking you at 1. You need just a little bit of extra memory, or you need like the Labramon being able to give you some bonus memory. There's multiple different avenues to go about it, but you also need the new Vmon as well. So it's kind of tricky to make it work, but it is really cool. There is multiple avenues of play, but we'll discuss all that in depth in the deck profile when we do the card by card review. So if you're really interested in this deck, definitely come back for that, as well as we will have the UlforceX deck profile at the end of the week.